Happy time period, bracketeers. We're coming at you with a brand new episode. One of the main principles of our show, as you might recall, is growth through adversity. Basically, the idea that there are many struggles in your life and you just can't avoid all of them or even most of them, but you can put them to work to make them tools of growth, to make them meaningful instead of mindless suffering. We've mentioned many times that your struggles are part of your character arc, how they shape the person you become as you face them and overcome them, like a character in a story, like a character in a movie. You are also in that shaping period where you become bigger and stronger and more powerful and a mighty Jedi. Well, maybe not that part.
I feel the power.
the He-Man movies out, we have the power of Grayskull. The power of Grayskull! We also talk a lot about the comfort zone and how it's a seasonal location, how the seasons of rest are good and necessary, but the storm clouds will come eventually, and with them will arrive new challenges for us to face and new adventures to overcome. These things usher in a new season of growth. The hero's journey starts with a shift. Something changes in the world, and our old methods and our old tools don't work anymore, and we have to learn something new.
I think a change, it's like you say, a shift, a change. But oftentimes it comes in the form of like if you think of a big football player, a linebacker, and it just tackles you to the ground, knocks you down. And you're like, well, that was a shift.
All right, so I call it a shift. Camille calls it a sack. I was just running for the end zone and suddenly 600 pounds of somebody is on top of me. Yes.
Exactly.
It feels like that. But the thing is, the principle remains is that the ways that we've been dealing with our lives no longer work anymore, and we have to learn something new, hence the character arc. So over the shows, I've given a few examples of what that might look like. I mean, one that comes up a lot that I've mentioned more than once is receiving a scary telephone call from the doctor that upsets your hopes and messes up your plans and really messes with your cool groove.
Or hits you like a linebacker.
This brings us to today's episode, Adventures in Suckfulness, taking ownership of a scary story.
So, scary story. We have been diagnosed with cancer. And it's not the good kind of cancer that's easily cured. It's the bad kind of cancer that's going to involve much in the way of chemo, radiation, surgery, and a whole lot of suckfulness. So we have to decide now, how are we going to look at this? How is this a part of our story? What's the journey like? And is breast cancer going to beat us, or are we going to beat it?
I have strong opinions on how that story is going to go. I'm betting on a protagonist I know. So yeah, we've been teaching, we've been talking, we've been lecturing, we've been bantering about taking ownership of your story, and now
we get to show it. Now we get to walk through it. Now we get the opportunity to show how that works in real life.
We've been assigned some homework.
We have.
I thought we were out of school. I've learned otherwise. All right. So as you might imagine, we're like day 6 since we found out. So this is not like we've had a lot of time to reflect and process.
I call it day 6 of the month.
It has felt like this week has felt like a month.
Yes.
It was we didn't have many details at first, and it was really scary. That first 24 hours, we didn't know what was going on, and everything went out the window.
I'm not sure we still know what's going on,
yeah,
but we're a little closer.
A little more information, but it's been an up and down journey. It's been very much a roller coaster. I am not, for the record, a fan of amusement parks or roller coasters, so I didn't really sign up for this. Feeling a little nauseous and seasick from time to time.
But we do have to take a step back, and we have to say, let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at, this is part of our story now. There's no, as you said before, there's no opting in and there's no opting out.
Yeah.
This is what's been put on our plate. This is what's been given to us. And now we have to determine how we are going to look at this. And what is our perspective going to be? Are we going to throw a nice pity party, which you can do? You need to feel your feelings. You need to go through the grief process. You need to feel all the emotions. And I think we've felt all the emotions hourly. We've cried a lake. There's a nice boat ramp and all of the amenities to our lake at this point.
At the time will be crisis.
Yes. So there's not been a lot of fun in any moments this past week, but there have been a lot of moments of grace, and I would say just people rallying around us. And when we've talked so many times about the tribe and how important the tribe is to have your back. Wow.
We're, like I said, 6 days into this, and I have felt profoundly honored by the way that people have come to give back to us in ways I did not expect, in ways I didn't quite always feel worthy to. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. The people in our tribe are really stepping up. And I, like Brent, I feel honored. I feel, sometimes I don't feel worthy, but as this process is unfolding, I do feel like God has orchestrated. He's already placed these people exactly where they needed to be for this season. He's already given us, just random things. I went to the doctor and had to do a CT scan, and the whole thing's scary. The lady at the desk has on her desk these little figurines of Jesus and Mary, and next to it, she's got a yellow cross and 2 yellow ducks. I mean, all these things are just like this so randomness, but just like what made me happy and what I needed to see. So I feel like God is definitely orchestrating the path and how we're moving through here. Our tribe is absolutely essential. And again, I encourage anybody who doesn't have a tribe, you need to build your tribe. That is, when stuff like this comes down the pike, you have to have people in your life that are going to have your back, and they're going to support and love you through the process. So make sure you have your tribe.
Yeah. And I think the record needs to reflect that yellow ducks are kind of your spirit animal.
Anything yellow is like, I'm all about it.
You told me that you wanted a Jeep, and then you told me that Jeep people had yellow ducks, and I'm like, do you want the Jeep because you want a Jeep, or you just want an excuse to have a bunch of yellow ducks? You have a desk with all your mementos with wheels that rolls around town.
And also, for the record, hubby did get me a yellow Jeep. Now it's the size of my hand, but I do have a yellow Jeep.
You asked for. I provide.
That's right.
You provide. All right. So a couple points that have come to us already early in this journey is that you need to find the meaning of your experiences. The meaning, as we've kind of looked through and lived and done research and whatnot, meaning seems to come from seeing the connections to things, to zooming out to the big picture and seeing what this moment means in relation to the whole story of your life and the whole story of your tribe and the whole story of what you're trying to do and what you're contributing to. You know, and a thought that came up that Camille was talking about is like, we need to look at what this is going to look like when we get through it. What is it going to look like on the other side?
I think too, like, in episode 9, we talked about negativity bias and bad changes will automatically populate your brain. Guys, I cannot tell you the random thoughts that have gone through my brain this last week. The rabbit holes, the just, oh my goodness, where did that even come from? And if I don't consciously take control of that and make sure that I am stopping those thoughts and writing a narrative that is going to get me through this season, it can take me down hard and fast.
This was reminding me, this whole same experience, for those of you and Yvette's joining us. It was reminding me of deploying to a war zone and how I had to find the right mindset. And I wouldn't let myself squirrel away down rabbit trails of fear. I had to keep to the script. This is what we're going to do. This is the mission. I'm not going to go down these what ifs, because then I will be emotionally exhausted and not be able to function. And you have to be strict with your brain.
Yes.
Spiritual people will call this taking every thought captive. It's like, nope, we're not entertaining that. You get to sit outside. We're using the thoughts that are useful to help us get through this process.
Yes. And fight the battle. People have always talked about cancer being a battle, and you have to fight. And the better you are at fighting, the better your outcome. And I am believing for the absolute best outcome. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm a fighter, and I will fight.
Now I'm feeling I feel like because our marriages got so strong, we haven't fought nearly as much. Maybe we could have been better prepared. Do I need to just pick a fight? No yellow ducks for you. You're fight. Yellow ducks are the worst. We don't need to practice fighting right now.
Well, let's just say that if you take my yellow ducks, I take your CDs.
All right. So we have just escalated quickly. We're going to stay focused. But like Camille was saying, like the negative thoughts will auto-populate. You don't have to go, hey, what are the ways this could go wrong? But you do need to be deliberative about the ways things could go right. Take some time to think about how this process, when you inevitably get through it and survive it, how you're going to be stronger, how you're going to be different, what you could learn from it. And when you look at that, then you can be watching for those opportunities and recognize them as they come. Because as we mentioned before, it's all about how you interpret it. The same thing can be totally suckful and also a growth-building lesson that makes you stronger, but you need to be able to see both of those versions. You need to be able to switch the lenses that you look at it. Otherwise, you'll miss the blessing. You'll miss the goodness. You're going to get the pain either way, but whether you're able to grow through it is very optional.
That's right.
I heard a phrase that says, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you have to be intentional about that. You have to focus on it and look for the lessons. If you're just zoning out or self-medicating or living in a tub of Jell-O pudding, I don't think you necessarily get the strength that you could otherwise.
Yeah, and Jell-O pudding would make you really sticky too. That's kind of gross.
Now I'm thinking about a hot tub full of Jell-O pudding.
No,
that's not.
That would kind of be gross.
Could we bill the insurance for that? That might be a thing.
No.
All right.
Don't get me started on insurance.
Forget that. All right. So another thing you need to do is you need to take time to feel. There is no value in suppressing your feelings and pretending, I don't live here, go away. Go visit the neighbors. Mm-hmm. Bring all that fear over to the neighbors. Bring that.
Yep. And we have
regret.
We have felt the feelings. Like I said, multiple times in an hour, we feel the feelings, and I think we've been very intentional about feeling them, not hiding them, talking about them, sharing them with our tribe, making sure that we are not stuffing anything and we're not pretending. This is hard. It's hard in different ways. It's hard in ways that you would not think it would be hard. And then it's not hard in ways that you thought it should be hard. I got a notification last night about our upcoming subscribe and save order from Amazon. And it had my shampoo, conditioner, and hair dye. And, that kind of threw me for a loop because I had to cancel that order because I won't have hair. So that really threw me for a loop. But they said, hey, we're going to schedule you for your port and we're going to get that port put in. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. So it's random, the things that kind of you think would throw you and don't. And then the things that shouldn't throw you, but do.
And it was opposite for me, is I thought we were resigned to the hair thing. Obviously it's your hair, but for the record, I've had my head shaved several times. I'm used to that. But when they said they were going to fit you with a port and you'd have these biomechanical Borg stuff, I felt like I got punched in the gut. I don't know why. I just oh no, not my baby.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have predicted that was going to be rough, but then it was.
Yeah. You never know what's going to hit you, and you just have to feel it and, cry, rage, whatever you have to do. All of the feelings are normal. It's what you do with those feelings and how you live with them. And, you don't want to stuff them. You don't want to just live there with them.
Right.
You want to process them to the best of your ability, having others help you process, and then be able to move to the next step.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I forgot about that. We'd mentioned in previous episodes this fancy, brace yourself, bracketeers, because this is a fancy term, social allostasis. And allostasis is how you manage your stress. Your stress goes up and down and your hormones come to help regulate. Social allostasis is offloading that stress to your tribe, helping them help you manage and regulate your emotions. And this has been a very strong example of that. Like, people, come with me and help us. This has been good. This has been bad. This has been very scary. Lend me your strength. Lend me your stories. And the thing, we have to remind yourself that don't judge yourself for these feelings. Don't feel like you're being weak. This is a sucky situation, and these feelings are justified. You need time to vent. You need time to be able to get past it. But also, as we've mentioned in many episodes, is that there's a season for that. And once you've processed that, you have to get up and start walking the path. You can't just sit there and pout for the next 6 months. Otherwise, nothing will ever get done.
And a real good example of that is, in February when we went to first have the lump looked at, and they told us it was a complicated cyst, and we lost 4 months of potential, taking care of the business. And I had a lot of rage about that, because we could have already been in process. It might not have had to go the way that it's going if we had started back then, but that's not where we are now. We are here. This is the point we're at. And yes, I felt those emotions. I processed those emotions. And now I have to really focus on the fight that's ahead and what I have to do to beat it now.
Right. So that anger is like a rabbit trail. We could go there and feel that, but it doesn't move us forward. It doesn't achieve the goals of our mission currently.
Exactly.
Think about this: finding meaning, zooming out to find meaning, and then taking time to feel your feelings as two different modes of processing, two different levels of processing. There's like a high level, 30,000 feet processing, and there's the sitting in the emotions and crying processing, but they're both part of the process. You need to cycle back and forth between them as needed. It's not going to be a good outcome if you stick on either one of them. If you're like trying to be Mr. Spock and being logical about everything, that's going to catch up with you eventually. And if you're always super emotional about everything and you can't ever look at the meaning of it, the external value and how you're going to actually work with this, you're not going to get very far either.
And having people in your tribe who can help you if you get stuck.
Yes.
So sometimes you're going to get stuck in those emotions and they're hard to climb out of. And being able to have people in your tribe who can say, hey, I think you're maybe stuck in this point. How can I help you get where you need to be? Super important.
And that's something we've discussed before, the loving accountability. When you trust someone, when you love someone, they can bring you hard news because they don't bring it as judgment. Ha, I caught you slacking again. It's like, hey, I know this is hard to hear, but I think you're going to want to hear this because I know that you want to achieve this outcome.
Exactly.
So another point that we're already learning is how to manage expectations.
Yes.
It'd be a lot harder if one of us was a total overachiever or a force of nature or named after a hurricane or something. That could be difficult. Fortunately.
Okay, guys. True transparency. Yes, I have high expectations of myself. Absolutely 110%. And I have worked really hard over the last year and a half to lose weight. I've talked about this before. I'm already eating clean, which is a absolute bonus going into this mess because, I don't have to think about and worry about and change my diet completely going into this. It's already there, already doing it. That's 100% something to be thankful for. However, I love to exercise. I get over 300 minutes every week of exercise, walking, riding the bike, lifting weights. I love to exercise. It makes me feel better. And I asked both our surgeon and our oncologist, hey, is it okay if I exercise through this process? Is there any limitations? Oh yeah, you absolutely need to exercise. And when I told the oncologist, hey, I do over 300 minutes of exercise every week. And he looked at me straight in the face and he said, yeah, you may want to lower that expectation to about 50 and give your body a break, because you're not going to get a second wind. Chemo does not give you a second wind. When your body's done, you're done and you have to rest. So yes, managing my expectations for this overachiever is going to be a real challenge. So you can pray for me.
But you also talked about not setting your expectations too low either.
That's right.
And so you have to recalibrate what is the new normal, and we won't even know that yet.
Exactly.
So if you expect to do what you were doing yesterday, you're going to be disappointed and burned out and might have to be picked up by a dump truck. But if you set it down to 0, you might miss out on all kinds of things you might want to do or need to do because your new mental limits. If there's a theme to this show, one of them is that your mental limits are almost always lower than your physical limits. Your brain is trying to protect you. You can't do this. You can't climb that high. You can't run that fast. And when you have to, you find that you can. And so as you're recalibrating those limits, you want to be really careful to make sure that they're accurate. You're not backing off too much and getting soft unnecessarily because you want to be fit to get better, but you're not trying to go into what I like to call Camille mode and do a week's worth of work in one day. Not named after anybody in this room. This is a different Camille.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man. So a thing I think we've kind of mentioned earlier was that we need to focus on useful things. We've been working with the information that we have now and being careful not to speculate on the things that we don't know or we can't know or the 1 in a million things. We've got to focus on the information that we have from the doctors, the plan that we have now, and just work the plan, attack the plan. That's what my old drill instructor used to tell me. You have to plan your attack and then attack your plan.
So what the plan is it is 4 sessions, 3 weeks apart, of major, intense, nasty chemo. The kind that's going to knock you out for about 2 weeks, and then you're going to have 1 semi-good week. Supposedly, this is how it's going to go. We don't know exactly how my body's going to react to this. And then after that, we do our second round of chemo, which will be 2 weeks apart. So a total of 6 months worth of chemo. And then it will be surgery and then 4 weeks of radiation daily. We don't know the exact dates, the exact timing of all of these things because we don't know how my body is going to react to that chemo yet. So just wanted to lay out the facts in case anybody was curious about what does this process look like for you and how is this going to go?
Then that's the rough plan. The doctors can't see the future any better than we can, but that is statistically how it will likely go based on previous cases. So another thing we've been doing is we've been drawn on the stories of others. We've been really, as we mentioned, leaning into our tribe. But we found that you have to erect boundaries. You have to be really careful about what stories you're asking for. It's like we don't necessarily need any horror stories. It's not October yet.
Right. It's like when women start telling each other about, they tell first time moms they're pregnant. Oh yeah, when I had my kid, I did this and and then this happened and
I was in labor for 2.5 months.
Yeah. Labor for 2.5 months. Yeah. So we've been very careful. I don't think I'm just quite ready yet in my processing to hear the full extent of other people's stories. I love to hear that they made it through it. That's great. I'm just not ready to hear the brutality of how they made it through it. And I will get there. I'm just not there quite yet. So I'm learning how to just know when, okay, I'm ready for the next piece of information now. I'm ready to know what this is going to look like and moving into that.
Yeah, we found that we have enough regular stress. We didn't need to sign up for any extra credit stress. There was no AP stress or college credit stress or advanced stress. Like, no, I'm good. That's fine. My plate is full. No, just scoot that over. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. The story is unfolding. It is, as we mentioned, your life is a story and you are the narrator of that story. You get to decide. You're not the author. You don't get to add nothing but happy events, but you get to decide how you tell the story about those events. And we are finding ourselves with a very practical prac app way to actually walk through that. And it's been helpful for us, but it's also, we've been assigned some homework. I like the theoretical. I didn't necessarily like the prac app so much.
I don't know. I feel like we are in the AP class though for cancer.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't get the lower level basic general ed class on this one. We are definitely in the AP class on this one.
And as a cool Easter egg, we keep reminding ourselves that we are an effective team.
We are an effective team. We may have to talk about that
the
movie.
Tom Cruise movie Oblivion.
We have to talk about that movie on a future show.
It's a really great movie.
Yeah, we do like that. So here's some takeaways.
In the crises that you've been facing, have you been able to zoom out and find some meaning? We know it's not easy, but have you been able to do that in some fashion?
And have you been able to sit with your feelings instead of suppressing them or running to self-medicate? Are you processing those feelings?
That's a very important part too. Remember, there's 2 levels to processing, the higher level and then the feeling level. And then finally, what have you done to manage your expectations?
I've cried a lot. Does that count?
I mean, it does. It does. All right, bracketeers, a little more of a sober episode, but one that's useful, I hope, and valuable. We're going to keep going as much as we can, and we hope to have more exciting things for you.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be exciting.
We'll have more exciting things. Hopefully they'll be for you.
Nice.
Oh, man. All right. Have a good, I don't know. Goodbye.